What is going on, my meta millionaires? I'm your host Terry, and welcome to my channel, baby. By the dip. All right, guys, we got something really important that we need to cover today. That's right. There is an article out on Metamaterial's Twitter page, and there's an interview with their man right here, Mr. George. That's right. George has an interview, and I must say, it's a very exciting interview. So we're going to listen to it. It's roughly about 5 minutes or so long on this interview he did, and we're going to cover this information because I'll tell you what, man. Hearing George talk about like the future of the metamaterials, the future of the nano materials and nano composites, when all the industries that this metamaterials is going to be in, it's just super exciting to hear, man. It just makes me super excited to hear all the different areas that metamaterials is going to be in. So guys, hope you all ready for today's video. If you are, smash the thumbs up. Please check out the links down below. It helps out the channel. And let's get to the video. All right, guys, so here we are on Metamaterial's Twitter page. They posted this on July 31st, and it says here, all factors of vehicles' capabilities, acceleration, safety, efficiency, handling can be improved through the use of advanced lighter materials. Hashtag throwback. Interview with MMAT CEO George Placaris, Vice, Metamaterials, Nano Composites, Aviation, and Automotive. So there's an interview here on Vice.com. We click that, and it takes us to here. It says, how will molecular engineering shape the vehicles of tomorrow? We learn how programmable matter like replicated shark skin can make the future of air transportation safer. Now, this was done back in March of 2018, but I must say tell you what, this interview is pretty darn phenomenal. So we're going to kick in here, guys, and listen to this and just kind of go over it as we go. So let's get to it.
In of a shark, scientists have been able to use chemicals to replicate that coating. Major aircraft manufacturers are testing this chemistry on top of the wings to not de-ice the plane, but not to allow ice to form even.
The shape and form of transportation are hugely dependent on the materials we create. Learning how to smelt iron ore to make inexpensive steel allowed the mass production of first-generation cars. Now we engineer materials at the molecular level with incredibly dynamic properties. So how will the new materials we create today shape the vehicles of tomorrow? So what exactly is a nanomaterial? How does it differ from the normal materials we work with?
Well, a nanomaterial is the tiniest material you can possibly imagine. It's in the range of molecules that are between 1 and 1,000 nanometers. The difference between nanomaterials and normal materials is that you can actually now engineer those properties. So imagine that you have the ability as an engineer to create matter that changes color, that changes mechanical, electrical properties. So now you have the flexibility to design the properties of that material and make it smart.
You're taking regular materials, you're changing them at the molecular level?
That's right. You have now a brand new material that nature could not have made. You have a new battery. You have a new way of creating light or absorbing light or enhancing light. These are the smart materials of the future that will change the way we interact with our objects around us.
And now that these tools, these materials have become more ubiquitous, what would that mean for us in terms of like mobility? How can we apply that to the ways that we get around?
One of the most important applications that I see in mobility today is autonomous vehicles. In order for that to actually happen, we need to rethink the mobility industry beyond the automotive industry, how things talk to each other, how safe is that communication, and that means you have to put sensors in almost everything. Nanomaterials allow us to detect.
I just want to say real quick, guys, you hear right there he's saying how nanomaterials are going to be very important for autonomous vehicles. What is one thing we hear about Tesla that, is going to take the electric car company to the next level, just like Lucid and, NIO and all the other big boys? Autonomous driving. And George here is explaining why the nano materials is going to be very important, because the more sensors that your car has, the safer it'll be on the road. And that is what we need. You know, a lot of people are scared about a car being fully autonomous. So the more sensors these cars can have, the safer they could be on the road to keep everyone safe. So let's get back to the interview.
Microcurrents at every inch of the car. So today there are sensors in our tire to say that your wheel is deflating. You need to go to the shop and put more air. Now that is one sensor, it's a basic sensor, but imagine now your car feeling the surroundings.
What are some other ways that you imagine nanotechnologies might affect vehicles?
Nanotechnologies are right now making huge impact in the world of batteries. The battery is kind of one of the most underdeveloped part in a vehicle or in our gadgets today. So we have to be very careful because we are storing incredible amounts of energy in a tiny block. You have to be able to make sure that it's safe. And nanotechnology allows you to be able to not only create more capacity, which is of course what everybody wants, but long life is important and sustainability.
What are some of the ways that you're using your lab to produce?
And real quick, I want to touch base there. He's talking about the batteries. So we know one thing with the electric cars that how much, the batteries is like the biggest cost of these electric cars, guys. So that's how, the smaller they can make the batteries in these electric cars and how many miles they can put on a smaller battery is going to be key in getting these cars down to like 30,000 and under, like $20,000 electric vehicles. That is the ultimate goal, is getting a $25,000 electric car, getting a $20,000 electric car. So we've heard that from Peter Rawlinson and Lucid. We've heard that from Elon as well and Tesla. It's all about technology. It's a technology race. So with the nano materials, it's definitely making things very interesting. Let's go back and finish up this interview.
Nanomaterials.
Around the world, there's thousands of laser strikes every year against pilots. We invented a film that you can put on the inside of a cockpit glass, a window. It interacts as a filter with the incoming laser and deflects it away from the cockpit.
And to look at it, those like entirely transparent.
We took a photopolymer layer that's about a few microns thick, and we changed what's called the refractive index of that material.
And you can change the material to control what colors of light will bounce off of that material?
That's right. As we move forward, these new materials will allow us to do similar jobs at larger scale for a fraction of the energy.
Do you imagine nanomaterials playing a role in prosthetics?
Absolutely. One of the biggest challenges today in robotics is that robots cannot feel the same way we do. So the moment I touch a cold surface, I know in nanoseconds that this is a cold surface.
Right.
When we create the sensory system for robots, prosthetics, to give enough resolution like we have in our bodies, that's the time when we will have, let's say, evolved as a species, in my opinion.
Engineering matter at the molecular level will likely mean dramatic changes to what our vehicles are capable of. Soon we'll have the potential to make them smarter, stronger, and more efficient. But what responsibilities come with this tremendous new power to manipulate matter?
All right, guys, so there's the end of it. There is a little bit more information down here. It talks about, and I like that it's presented by Toyota. So Toyota, they're going to be making electric cars. All these people's going to be making electric cars. So pretty interesting that Toyota was one that presented this by. But it says here, Flux is a series that explores technological innovations in mobility and how they will affect our roads, our cities, and our relationship to both. Engineering matter at a molecule level will likely mean dramatic changes to what our vehicles are capable of. Soon, we'll be able to make them smarter, stronger, and more efficient. In the third episode of Flux, host Anthony Morgan discussed the state of molecular engineering with George Placaris, the founder of Metamaterials Technologies, and discovers the possibilities of matter manipulation could unlock. So there it is, guys, man. That is just a super exciting interview right there when George talking about the possibility of robotics We know they're doing in electric vehicles and just everything, man. You go to their website, all the stuff they got their hands in. They got their hand in a little bit of everything. So it's going to be super exciting to see where this ends up, man. Like I said, this isn't going to happen overnight, guys. They just literally became, listed officially as Men of Materials like about a month or so ago. So give this a couple years to go through. They start getting these partnerships. They start getting these contracts. They start leasing out their, Men of Materials. And man, I'm super excited. The more I hear George talk about this stuff, it definitely puts a smile on my face, and I'm a happy shareholder. So guys, hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. Check out the links down below, and I'll catch you all in the next video, guys. Peace.